Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So a pure Linux phone or a Linux distro made specifically for mobile devices is not quite there yet. So the next best thing is to install a custom Android ROM. And there have been many popular options before, such as CyanogenMod, who no longer exists, and there are definitely still options here available today. One of the most popular ones is Lineage OS. And so today I'm actually going to install that on my phone, and it's actually going to be on my really old Moto G phone. This is actually the very first Moto G phone. This actually came out in 2013, and so that's what I'm going to do today. And so I'm actually going to go through a few steps, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to unlock my bootloader. Next thing I'm going to do is actually root the phone, and then install a recovery app. And then finally, I'm actually going to download the Lineage OS and then flash this whole phone and put this version of Android on my phone. And so I'm going to go through each of this step by step. And so there are many ways that you could actually do this depending on the phone that you have. But the main steps are pretty much the same. And in Linux, it's a little different. And so the first thing I'll need to do is actually go to settings on my phone. And I actually need to turn developer options on. And so what I do is I go to about phone right there. And then I'll go to the build number. Okay, and maybe you see that. And I'm going to tap it like maybe 7 times until developer mode is activated. And then once that's on, there is developer options right there that's available. And so that will allow me to connect my phone to my actual computer. And so here, there's USB debugging right here, and so I'll go ahead and turn that on. Okay, and so once again, this is really specific to my phone. It might be different on your Android device, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same. And so now that I've done that, I'm actually going to have to go into the computer and actually get everything ready to actually unlock the bootloader on my Motorola G phone. Okay, so the very first and most important step is actually unlocking your bootloader. Now, this can be different depending on which phone that you have and also depending on which operating system that you are using. So we're doing all this in Linux, and so there's definitely going to be some tools that we need to install. And there's 3 main things that we're going to need to install. The first thing is Fastboot, second thing is ADB, and then the third thing is ABootImg. Okay, so we're going to install all 3 of these, and so let's go ahead and do that. Sudo apt install, and we'll just go ahead and copy and paste each one of these tools. So what this will allow you to do is actually connect to your Android device, which should now be in USB debugging mode. So that's 1, and that's 2 right here, and then we have this one right here, ABootImg. Okay, I'll just type that one in. Okay, then you just go ahead and put in your password. It'll go ahead and install all the tools for you. Okay, so once that's installed, you actually need to go to your phone and then make sure that you have this connected to your micro USB right there. In my case, it's micro USB. And so now you have these installed. Let's go ahead and make sure that you can actually see your device. We'll go ahead and type in ADB devices. Okay, so now it's starting. There it is. There is actually my device. It actually sees that it is attached. And as you could probably see there, the actual allow USB debugging is asking for it to actually connect to the computer, and I say okay. And so now that I have access to it, now you could do a few things. And the first thing you could do is you could actually reboot your phone into recovery mode. Now you can do this manually by just powering off the device and then putting power and then the down volume button for most phones. So what you're gonna do here is sudo ADB reboot bootloader. So what that should do is it should actually reboot your phone through the command line. And then it'll come back up. There it is. Okay, so now what we can do is we could actually get the actual unlock code from Motorola in this case. Okay, then once again, it does depend on the actual phone and manufacturer that you have. And so what you need to do now, at least for Motorola devices, is you need to go to this specific site on Motorola, and you will actually have to get the unlock code here. And from here, you're actually going to need to sign in with either a Motorola ID or your Gmail account. So that's exactly what I'm going to do next. Okay, so now that I'm actually signed in with my Gmail account, I have set up the Moto ID. You'll come to this page, at least for this device, and you'll be able to actually get the unlock codes from your phone. Now, most of these instructions, they're really meant for Microsoft and Apple macOS users. So if you click to download the USB drivers and stuff here, it's actually going to show you stuff for Windows or Mac. So that's why I went through the whole Linux tools first, because you really don't need these once you have those other three tools. And so the actual thing that we're going to need is this command right here. Okay. Now, whenever I put this command into the command line, it will actually give me these codes right here, which I will actually put down here at the bottom. Okay. And this will actually allow me to get my unlock code. Okay, so I'm not actually going to show you this code, but I will show you where you would put this command. So right here, you would type in sudo, and then you would put this command in right there. And then from here, I'll be able to get the code, which I'll be able to go ahead and send this to Motorola and get my unlock code. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so once I've gotten the code and I put it here, I can go ahead and click on this, and it'll ask me, can my device be unlocked? And yes, I can be unlocked. I agree. And then when you request your unlock key, it'll actually send you an email. And then this is the unlock key that we're actually going to use to unlock our phone. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and it'll go ahead and send me my unlock code. So an unlock code should have been sent to your email, which will allow us to go through the final step of unlocking your bootloader, and that is with the command fastboot OEM unlock, and then you put in the unique key that was actually sent to you. So in your command line, what you would do is sudo and then fastboot OEM unlock, and then you'd put in the code that was actually given to you. And what that would do is it's actually going to go ahead and flash your phone once again and unlock your phone. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll be able to see it here on the phone as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So okay, so you could probably tell the actual phone was just unlocked and it rebooted. And now we could go to the actual steps of actually going ahead and putting in Lineage OS. Okay, now that we've actually unlocked the bootloader, the final important steps are to actually install TeamWin Recovery, root the device, and then finally install Lineage OS. Now, there are many ways in which you could do this, including one-click solutions like KingRoot, but I'm actually going to show you the longer steps because I am doing this in Linux and I want to make sure you get all the steps available, okay? And so the first thing you want to do is actually go to the TWRP or TeamWin Recovery site right here. And then you're going to go to devices, look for the actual model of your phone. And then after that, you're actually going to click on your actual phone device. And here, depending on where you live, you could go to the primary download link and download the most recent image. Now, I have already downloaded it, and what I recommend you do is once you do download it, make sure you rename it because that's a really long file name. And so I just renamed it twrp.img, okay? So here's something that's really important before we actually get over to our phone. Make sure that you actually have this open in command line in the folder that you're going to be working in, wherever this image file is saved, okay? So here, I'm going to right click on my folder, open in terminal. And the reason you want to do this is because whenever you actually connect this to your phone and you actually want to flash the recovery, you actually have to be inside the folder that the actual recovery file is at. Okay, so that is very important. And so now that we've done that here, we could actually go ahead and move over to our phone. Okay, so over on our phone, we actually want to be in recovery mode. So first, we're going to have to go ahead and turn off the phone. I'll turn it off here. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and reboot in recovery. And at least here on Motorola phones, normally it's just down and a power button. I hold it down for about 3 seconds, let it go. And now it is in recovery mode. And what you want to do is actually connect your USB cable right here. And now it's connected. And just remember that it is now unlocked. As you can see there, device is unlocked. And so we're actually now going to move over to a computer, and I'll go ahead and leave that there. Okay, now that we're actually back on our computer, now we could actually go ahead and flash this TeamWin recovery file. And so make sure, once again, that you are in the correct folder, in your downloads folder. And so what you want to make sure first is that it could actually see your device. So we'll just type that in there, put in your password, and there it is. It sees your device. So now I have a little cheat sheet here. We're actually going to go ahead and fast boot into the flash recovery of your TeamWin file, which is right there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and type that in. Fast boot flash recovery, and then the name of the file, and press enter. And as you can see on your phone, it actually did do the flash correctly, and now you could actually reboot. And what should happen is it could actually show up in TeamWin recovery, which is what we want. Okay. Okay, and once it restarted here, go ahead and choose recovery on your phone. Just move the volume button down to recovery and then press up. And then obviously it's going to give you that warning. But once that warning is over, TeamWin should come up. There it is. TeamWin recovery. Great. And now from here, we can actually move on to other parts of the actual rooting and installing Lineage OS. Okay, now that we've actually got TeamWin recovery installed, it's time to root the phone. Now there are many ways in which you could do this, including single click options, but the way I'm going to do it is the old school way by downloading Super SU Zip. So all you have to do is open up a browser, type in Super SU, and you will come to the Super SU download portion of the website. And all you would do is scroll down till you get to Recovery Flashable, the latest one. Just download that. It's a fairly small file. It's about 6 megs. And once you've downloaded that, this is actually the file that we're going to use to actually root our phone in Team Recovery. So let's go ahead and do that. So if you didn't already do so, in order to root your phone, you actually have to install the Super SU zip file. And so if you've already done that, then it should be easy. You should just go to install right here. And then you go to the folder where you actually downloaded. In this case, it's under download. And there is Super SU version 2. And so we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay. And then we'll skip to confirm flash. So this will actually allow me to have my phone rooted. Okay. Okay, so now you could actually reboot your system. Now there is an official TWE app already, but I already have it. So let's go ahead and do not install. Okay, so now that our phone is rebooted, it should be rooted. Okay, and so if you didn't already do so, be sure you download Root Checker, Super SU, and here's the official TWR app. Okay, so if you open up Root Checker, you can actually check to make sure that your phone is rooted. So verify root. So great. So your phone has been rooted, which is awesome. Okay. And then Super SU. There it is. So everything's good. Okay. So it's been rooted. And now we can finally proceed to actually installing Lineage OS. Now I've also installed the official TWE app. What this does is it allows you to actually, go into recovery mode a lot easier this way. And now that we have root access, we could do that anytime we want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grant this root access. Okay, so here you could actually flash whatever file you want. Okay, so if you select the file to flash, you could actually flash the TWRP image that I just downloaded earlier to get into recovery, but we don't need to do that. Now to download Lineage OS, you could simply do this on your phone as well. Simply go to lineageos.org, go to downloads, and here you could choose which phone that you have. So in this case, I have the Motorola, and then I have the Motorola G Falcon. And so here are the nightly builds. Just go ahead and download that. It's a little over 300 megs and it'll be in your downloads folder. So then whenever you use TeamWin Recovery to actually flash Lineage OS, it will be there and available to go. Okay, so now we're almost there to the final step of installing Lineage OS. However, before that, we must do a little big fix because there is a certain problem with TWRP recovery and certain ROM files where you actually get an error 7 while you're installing. And so we actually have to update a script in order to fix this. Okay, so this has to be done on your computer. And so the actual Lineage OS file that you downloaded, it's a zip file. So what you need to do is right click on your mouse and extract here. And when that happens, you see the folder. Go inside the folder, go into Meta INF, then go to COM, Google, and then Android. And you see two files here, but the file we want to edit is updater script. So simply right click on it and open with text editor. And the actual lines we want to remove, it actually starts at the top with assert, and then it ends right here with the semicolon. Okay, so just delete all of those lines, and then make sure this one's at the top. So the very first line should be UI print. Once you've done that, go ahead and save. Okay, so let's close it, and then let's go ahead and check it again to make sure that's correct. Okay, and now what you need to do is you need to zip this whole folder up again, okay, with the new fix updated script. So what I'm going to do is select everything here, okay, and now let's go ahead and zip this. We'll go ahead and compress, and you could choose zip, and I'm going to name this Moto G Lineage OS. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create that. Okay, so once you've done that, it will create that zip file, and I'm going to go ahead and copy this over to my downloads folder. So I'll just move it over here. So now the other thing is you're actually going to need to copy this file over to your actual phone. And I'm going to go ahead and connect my phone and copy this over. So let's go ahead and do that. And so here's my internal storage. I do have a download folder, and here I'm going to copy this new fix file right there. Okay, so now we are ready to finally install Lineage OS on our phone. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now that we actually fixed the Lineage OS updated script file, we could finally install it. And so what I did was reboot into TeamWin Recovery. Now before I actually install it, let me go ahead and go into Wipe, and let's go to Advanced Wipe. We want to make sure there is nothing left in here that might cause problems. There we go, Dalvik, cache, and data. Okay, so let's go ahead and swipe to wipe. Okay, make sure that's all done. Great, done. Let's go back. Now we could go into install, and here that's the corrected file, the Moto Lineage OS. Let's go ahead and try that, and we'll go ahead and swipe to confirm flash. And there it is. It's actually installing it. This might take like maybe hopefully no more than 5 minutes to install it. And so, you know, if you ever have issues where you still get an error after you fix the text file, it's because of the data that's remaining. That's why I went ahead and wiped that out. And, you know, if you do a lot of custom ROMs, then this is probably nothing new for you. So, okay, it's actually done. Now, all we have to do is reboot the system right there. And hopefully everything loads up and we have Lineage OS. All right, that's already a good sign. And the first time whenever it boots up, it might take a little longer than normal. There we are, Lineage OS. So you could set all this up if you like, your language, time, and everything else. No SIM card in this phone. Okay, great. So I'm gonna uncheck that for now. And here it is, Lineage OS. Wow, I'm gonna have a really great time trying this out, playing around with it. And so I'm gonna be doing a follow-up review on this later, but this is actually something that I've been wanting to do for a while, so I'm pretty happy about getting it installed and getting everything set up. And so yeah, so this is going to be pretty sweet. And so if you had any thoughts on Lineage OS or any of the things that I've actually done today, including unlocking the bootloader, rooting, putting TWRP recovery, or any other things, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And as always, if you did enjoy these videos, you got value out of them, be sure to subscribe. And if you wanted to support my channel further, you could do that at patreon.com/geekoutdoors. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.